Hello, everybody, and welcome Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal. How's Denise and Ron doing this evening?
Still trying to catch up.
Doing good.
So, hey, Nigel.
Hi, Nigel.
Hey, Nigel.
And thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, we're just a little tired.
Hey, Crystal.
From the cruise. You're cruising on a ship and you're walking 15,000 steps a day. We were on the bottom floor, so we got tired of waiting for elevators. So we did a lot of steps from 10 to 1 or 10 to 2.
Hey, Susan and Mike.
So,
hey, Jeremy. Everybody's popping in early tonight.
They're real fast.
But yeah, we had a really good time. It was 80 every day, 65 at the low at night. So it was great.
That's good. So.
And we found some really great places to go rock hunting and shell hunting down near Clearwater. And we had fun with family.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, you can't ask for better than that, no matter what. Oh, and we had some family drama, too, that made it even more fun. But it wasn't our drama.
When you get the families together.
One we knew was going to happen. So
yeah, we knew it was going to happen once we found out that he was coming.
I told you he was coming.
Mm-hmm.
He's so dramatic on everything.
Right. So, well, while you guys were gone and everything, I got as a guest for tonight and everything. And everybody knows her on the Bill of Rights network. And we've had her on both shows, both times and everything. So we want to welcome up Kat Hobson to the show.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Kat.
We're coming up on almost our anniversary of knowing each other.
I know, right? I think that's pretty fun.
Yep, 10 years.
That's actually freaking astounding. Yeah, because I've done Paranormal Experience for 10 years.
It seems longer.
And I started my show in April.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. Seems like we've known you for a long time.
Yeah. And I started my show in April.
It's been, what, 9 years since I found both of you, all of you guys.
Yeah, and that seems longer.
It does.
It does.
Well, I mean, because it's such a good friendship all the way around. You know,
right away on both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you know, when y'all first came down to Gulf Shores, you know, when you were checking out the area for the very first time, and we met and had dinner together, lunch, and they moved that place. They put it right out on the water at the end of the road where the 4-way stop was. So it's pretty fancy.
Yep, and we met you up in Birmingham at Sloss Furnace with Frank.
Yep, and that was fun.
It was 100. It was 100 degrees easy that day.
It was. It was not made for people that were driving through.
Yeah, and then we went to after we left you, we went up to Gatlinburg, and it was only like in the 50s. We weren't even prepared for it to be in the 50s in July in Gatlinburg.
What's that elevation?
But the thing is
it's not usually.
Yeah, it's not usually like that. But yeah, we had to go buy our daughter a long sleeve shirt. It was so cold.
Did they have sweatshirts in July?
No, they had long sleeve t-shirts though.
Okay.
So
because we're supposed to be going up to Cherokee this weekend, and the weather's going to be so bad. But I did find people that I can volunteer with when we do go.
Okay.
So you did find some people down there to volunteer with?
I did. And I mean, you can sort donations and bag stuff like that, but I'm a lot better at tearing stuff up, and they've got stuff where you can go out and, bring your gloves and wear boots, and you can just tear down the houses that they're having to replace. And, I did see on their website yesterday that I-40, from Tennessee to North Carolina has been closed. Mm-hmm. And it's a serious trade route for getting stuff into them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now the government is going to go and work with that. And Sean Duffy was there as Secretary of Transportation. Is that this is crazy? This needs to be open.
Yeah, so we're going to try to get it by March
1st.
Yeah, at least one lane each way.
Yeah.
So, Mom.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're going up to help volunteer for or some cleanup up there?
Yeah. David plays poker,
Just don't get hurt.
and I won't, but knock wood. But famous last words. But the main thing is that, I used to be a framer, and I'm really good at destruction. So, I can.
It is
I don't-
more fun.
We
Distraction
could send
is-
Nolan with you. He could
You could.
Oh my
destroy.
God.
I
he's
thought about
vi-
taking the grands because they're very good at that.
Yep.
So
But then you got to worry about nails and crap, and then you're not
Well,
getting
they wouldn't.
nothing done.
now you have to be 18.
Yeah.
So
So who are you
Yes.
volunteering with?
I don't remember the name. I should have written it down. It's on my.
Is it Samaritan's Purse?
No, this is local people, and they are. I mean, you have to register with them, and you have to give them the dates that you're going to be there, because it's for transient help.
Yeah.
So, because I'm only going to be there for like 4 or 5 days, and now that we're not going for this tournament, we're just going to go for the next one. There's going to be work to be done there for years. I've
Yes.
worked tornado relief, going again, when the TV cameras leave, so do the volunteers. And that's what I found to be true with tornadoes here in Birmingham. And so I usually wait, and when it's not on the news anymore, I go. And I just take stuff down because there's always debris for weeks because it keeps falling out of the trees and stuff. The interesting thing that happened with that, I went into a house, and I mean, I don't know how these women survived. Everything, appliances, everything was sucked out of the house. The only thing still in that house was a picture of Jesus hanging on the wall and the bathtub. And in the middle of the kitchen floor was a jar of canned peaches. They had put up. So, and putting up means that you made them if you're from the South. But, so yeah. And the bathtub was still there. That's where they hid. And Jesus was on the wall outside the bathroom. Pretty interesting.
And it's true. It is sad that once
It's
everybody,
Jeremy.
Yeah.
once there's no attention, it's gone. We were down, so we were in Clearwater, and they got hit pretty hard with Hurricane Helene.
Yeah.
And Milton, because with Milton, his family was going to try to come up here that morning, the morning that before it hit.
That morning.
And because they called us at like 4:00 in the morning, and I told them, I said, just come, we'll figure it out when you get here. I'm not concerned. Just come.
Right.
And they go, well, we got dogs. I said, I don't care. Just come. We'll
Just
figure
get
it
out. I mean,
And they
Yeah.
ended up staying. And now after seeing their house, I could see why they could stay. Because we stayed there this past weekend. And but there was still a lot of signs. We're looking for our
Jeremy.
hotel, and the sign was broken, and all that was there was a D. And
you had to know that was for you, right?
so I told Ron, I said, turn where the D is. And he's like, as I said, it's a Days Inn. Just
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Looked like the D of a Days Inn. So
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the other part of the sign, when we were coming the other direction, was completely gone. But there were more signs gone than you could believe at this point. But you would think that these major storefronts, that are major
Mhm.
companies, that they would have replaced their signs because they had.
not this one.
Well, those
this,
were,
not this Days Inn, but
that was going to be money that they would be getting from the government. So, maybe if they were to fix them, then they wouldn't get reimbursed. I would not have trusted the government at that point.
yeah, because I
So-
mean, it's been we figured that happened in October.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but there's still a lot of things were shut down. I mean, but we don't know from which storm. We went back up through
True.
19. So we went through the Bend area,
Mhm.
and there was a lot of stuff still messed up there. You could see the trees were basically either completely uprooted or just completely broken off. And
Did y'all drive out to Cedar Key?
No, we didn't drive out to it. We drove
No.
past the turn for it. because we
I
were
was just curious.
heading
This
to
was
10.
this was their second time
Yeah,
in I
they
think
got
3
tore up.
years getting a direct hit, and that's nothing but it's so tiny.
Yeah.
And
We-
I've stayed there in their hotel. I got pinched by a ghost there. My only time I've ever been pinched, which is kind of crazy. Most people would think it was crazy if you did do that, I guess. But
Well, I tell you, that was on our list of places that we had wanted to go, but we just didn't want to go and be looky-loos right now. Want to wait.
well, and
until
that's
they're
all it would
up.
be.
Yeah.
I mean, right now.
Especially since it's out of season.
Mhm.
I mean, the only people going out there now are fishermen and people who own stuff out there.
Right.
Or people that are trying to help.
Right.
And how many really truly are trying to help? I know that Samaritan's Purse is still sending people to Perry.
Mhm.
You know, they're saying, "Hey, come to Perry, and we'll disperse you from here." We went through Perry,
hmm
and we went through Mary Anna. We didn't look at anything. We just looked at Sonny's barbecue and Mary
Sonny's
Anna.
barbecue is pretty good.
We were
That's worth
hungry.
looking at. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, we made really good time. We left at 10 o'clock in the morning and was home by 7. But of course, you know, we got that hour, an extra
Right.
hour.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a pretty good drive. That is good time.
And,
I like
you know,
making that drive anyway.
it was fat. It seemed like it was faster than taking 75,
It was.
which is a
Well,
interstate.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that
But
area
like
is
you
so
guys
rural.
say, it's going to take years and years to rebuild all that down there.
Yep.
If it ever gets done.
It will, because Gulf Shores, I was really afraid that Gulf Shores was going to get, because a lot of times towns like the size of Cedar Key, or because that's really valuable property. If you were to develop it, it would be incredible. So a lot of times when small rural areas get hit like that along the coast, they become Destin. I lived in Destin when Destin was a fishing village, a true fishing village. My son was 4. He is 35 now, 38. And so we moved and Opal came through. And Destin went from being not quite as small as Cedar Key, but to being what it is now. I don't even get off the interstate and drop down anymore because they did not do their traffic planning for that.
Right. We know.
So,
nope.
yeah. And
Yeah, that's
It's
why
a
there's the
horrible
bumper
place.
stickers. We have bumper stickers here that say, "I hate 98."
yeah, A1A is, not bad going down through Florida, but, 30A is, I don't like 30A either.
Yeah,
30A is very congested, but
it's parking lot
we do
Yeah.
that once a year
in the summer.
when my cousin comes down. Well, twice a year if Rosalie comes, but once a year with my cousin. So it just
Where do you
depends. Rosalie was supposed to come down when we got our record snowstorm.
That was.
So when we checked into our hotel down there, the guy looked at my license and he goes, "I never heard of Milton until last week." I was like, "Oh,
A lot of people hadn't heard of Milton, Florida until you guys
Until you got
that
the snow from Hades. My God, that was insane.
I told his cousin, I said, "Yeah, when you look at Milton, you look at the destruction of your house, and when people see us and see Milton, they think, oh, record-breaking snowstorm." I said, 2 different Miltons.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we had a lot of people. Where are you from? Oh, the snow capital of Florida. Oh, Milton. Yeah,
For
that's
one day.
For one day. Well, when I got down, I could not believe I had 4 inches of snow on my deck. I was like, and I was in good shoes. I didn't plan that because there wasn't any downstairs, obviously. But when I got up on the deck, I was like, oh my gosh.
Isn't your deck in the shade?
Huh?
Isn't your
Not
deck in
during the
shade?
day.
Okay.
No, not during the day. I went and got, because I couldn't buy salt. Couldn't find any rock salt. There wasn't any salt. I went to CVS and got Epsom salt, and it was slow, but it worked.
So the key is the salt that they use for swimming pools.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you use.
Yep.
Well, next time I will know, but there better not be a damn next time. I'm so
Maybe
tired
100
of
years
snow.
from now.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
why they keep saying here, and we keep getting snow. That's not
Well,
that's
you
not
know,
my favorite.
they, people kept telling us, you guys got the 100-year snowstorm. And I said, oh, that's fine. I said, we were in Kansas City for the 500-year flood. And 2 years later, we were there for the 100-year flood. So
Yeah.
Somebody was not keeping track right.
No.
So I was like,
And if
okay,
you want
whatever.
more snow, I'll send you some tomorrow because we're
No,
supposed
thank
to
you.
get.
Thank you
again.
anyway.
Yeah.
We're having
I appreciate
our
the
fun.
offer.
I love sharing with all my friends. You know that, don't you?
Well, we've got these guys that were working on my house got here at 7 this morning and finished by 10:30. And they had to do the whole back wall, right? So I'm sitting there going, it must really going to be bad. And so that was interesting, but I was so surprised because it was just crazy.
Did you get are you getting thunderstorms now?
We're getting just rain so far, but it's really kind of cool. So if it does anything, it's going to be weird.
Yeah, ours. We just had right before we got on here, we had a heavy downpour.
Yeah, we were in the 70s.
And
we are not. We're probably in
Sweat
the 50s.
my butt off when I walk.
And
We're 72
we're in,
right now.
Teens.
Oh, since everybody else looked, I'm going to look too. Because I'm nosy like that.
Mine's just right on top. So
Mine doesn't.
We got
But
everybody's weather
I'm
on
54.
our phone.
I knew I was 50s. But we do have thunderstorms coming. I've got little red things all over my map. It's like, oh dear.
yeah. It's
everybody we know, we got their weather.
Yes.
on our phone.
Yep. Everybody I know. I look to see who's
I should
got
have
it
asked.
worse. Yep. It's like who's got it worse, and usually it's Rex.
Nielsen.
Yeah, Nielsen. He's usually got it worse than all of us. So, but today it's Carl and April.
Yeah.
Oh well, Crystal's having snow in Denver.
Yeah, Crystal be getting a little bit, but
isn't Julie in Kansas?
Yeah, Julie's in Wichita, so she's going to be possibly seeing some ice. Yep.
Well,
so needless to say,
Julie says 5 to 10 tonight and everything, and we're supposed to get 8+ up here by tomorrow evening.
Wichita tends to get more ice.
It's not going to melt anytime soon, is it?
No, because we go into a deep freeze for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, February I always thought was the worst month.
I know you missed that.
Nope.
I mean, it's bad enough I'm wearing a sweater because I'm cold and it's 72.
Yeah, we're finally at a normal winter.
So
70s and
the perfect
60s at night.
Yeah. Even on the boat though, I had on a jacket.
You're always cold.
Sweater part of the time because I was cold.
You're always cold.
Yeah, we won't see the 50s probably for well over a month.
Well, I'll tell you, Thursday, we were walking in the water down at Honeymoon Beach State Park.
I may be cutting grass in a few weeks, so I can send you the video of that.
Yeah, go right ahead.
And you can send him the video of you shoveling snow.
Right. I see grass out there, but tomorrow it'll be all white again.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I just have a mud pit.
So Kat, we've been talking about the trip to Ireland, and we've talked to some other family members,
Gary said the snow has started.
Oh my gosh!
We've talked to some
Gary,
other
you're so
family
brave.
members, and they may be going on the trip too.
Fun. Which ones?
Oh, really?
There's some family down in Clearwater.
Oh, that would be fun.
So, I sent them all the information, and their daughter said, if Denise is going, I'll go. So I thought that was that made me all warm and fuzzy.
It should. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she sees spirits too. So we won't have to bring any equipment.
Yeah, the big thing
take
for her
no
was
equipment with you, will you, Ron?
No.
Well, when they came up for the family reunion that we had in Iowa a few years ago, remember, Carl, I took everybody,
I remember you.
Ron and I took them to Malvern Manor. And when we got there, the lady goes, "Well, Denise, you just give them the tour." I was like, "Oh, okay." So, off I went and I gave the tour, and it helped the cousin's daughter feel so much better about seeing spirits and being able to deal with them and stuff at that time. But I found out that she doesn't like Walmart any more than I do as far as spirits go.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't think anybody does, though.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean,
it's a lot of baggage at Walmart,
as it were. Yeah.
Aldi sometimes gets a little weird too, but not as bad as Walmart.
I don't go to Aldi's that much, but
if you have a Winn-Dixie, you may be going sooner than you think.
I know, right? Well, we do have one. It's right next door to Home Goods, but usually I'm not going home from there.
Yeah.
So, and I can't leave stuff in my car because, as you have found out since moving down, that doesn't work real well.
I have a cooler in the car all the time.
Yeah, I do
But-
not.
But
Well,
yeah,
that's not true. I do. It doesn't always have ice.
Yeah, they just started doing the shutting down the Winn-Dixies and getting them prepared to turn into Aldi's.
I wonder what mine's going to become since there's an Aldi's right down the street.
It may
That'll be
stay
interesting.
Winn-Dixie because one of ours is staying a Winn-Dixie, the one in Pace, but the one over here is becoming an Aldi, the one here in Milton.
So who bought who out? Aldi's or Winn-Dixie?
Aldi bought out Southeast Grocers, which is who owns Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
But they're keeping the Winn-Dixie liquor stores. So some people are extremely happy.
I have a Winn-Dixie liquor store, but I live in Alabama and we're such prudes.
Yeah. Finding a liquor store in Alabama is not always easy.
Well, if it's a real liquor store, they're state stores.
Right. That's why I
Really?
explained to him about ABC stores a long time ago.
Nobody
I know.
owns a private liquor store down there?
Not real liquor stores
What's a not real liquor store?
that has a full array of product.
Oh,
Yeah.
Same as Virginia.
Virginia's ABC.
No.
so you can only
private-
have if you own a liquor store down there, you could only have beer in there, or you could just have whiskey in there.
pretty
which
much
is it?
beer.
It's kind of like beer and wine.
Yeah, beer and wine, and you can get liquor, but
Yeah.
it's not a big array, not a big selection.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
do
like
Okay,
under
do
a
you
certain
guys
proof.
down there in Florida or Alabama and all that area down there have the drive-through liquor stores?
They do in Florida. We don't.
we do, but I wouldn't go to one. They have them in Kentucky. My sister works in one.
They
It's
have them
like-
in-
Yeah.
So-
In my
Yeah, they go.
I don't understand that. And I mean, unless you're always just getting the same thing, that's why you go to a drive-through liquor store. I need my red, white, and blue 4 cases. Oh, that'd be $20.
Yeah.
that would do it.
Because when I was growing up, I told Ron about the ABC store in Virginia. We would go to Colonial Beach, and in Colonial Beach, there's a pier that if you go out far enough, there's a liquor store on it, and it's in Maryland. So everybody would go to Maryland to get their liquor and walk it back down the pier to their
That's
cars.
funny.
Because, with Virginia, they have the tax stamp. People, I don't know if people understand what those are, but
You're just paying for taxes.
yeah, that's all it is extra tax for
Mhm.
the
Right.
state. But that's the reason that, some alcohol can be sold, be made in Virginia, but not sold in Virginia. So it's weird.
That is weird.
And for those of you who have been following my family stuff, my nephew, we got a call on Thursday on
Friday.
Friday after we picked up everybody from the airport that my nephew has stage 4 glioblastoma, I think is the official. And when he went in for surgery for the biopsy, he went into seizures and he ended up in ICU and stuff. Well, they sent him home and now he's completely blind. So we're praying for a good outcome. And we don't know what to think right now, but he's got an appointment at Duke on Friday.
Okay.
So we know that Duke is one of the best places that people go for cancer treatment. And so I'm worried. I'm worried about my sister, of course, but I'm worried about my nephew because he's in between Lacey and Lindsay. So he's 36.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'd like to thank everybody who's been praying for him and everything, but Timothy is very proud. So my sister says he's being really brave. And she's trying to. She goes, it's hard. She goes, I can only tell you how I'm feeling. Or her other sister, So
wow.
Donna's only telling me and
being
Judy.
a mom.
Yeah. But it's as sad as it is. He's trying to do the best he can. So
well, sure.
Well, she's already lost a kid. He was 4 months old.
Yeah, Kat, you remember when I interviewed Barbara Patrone?
Yes.
And that and Sarah came on, and they talked about that Pete didn't mean to do it. Her father, who had died from a drug overdose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Donna's husband. And then when Barbara Patrone did a private reading with Donna, she kept telling Donna about that this man kept just looking at his feet and his shoes and all this. Well, he had just gotten shoes when he was 4 months old, and he was looking at them, and he loved playing with his feet. So for an adult, that looks stupid. But when you think about that it was 4-month-old baby,
yeah,
made sense. But yeah, he died from SIDS. And
that is such an insidious, horrible thing.
And then Sarah was born 3 months premature. So Donna's she's done the gambit of these things. So like I said, I'm very worried about them. So if you guys could keep Donna and Timothy in your prayers, I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I'm praying for the most positive outcome, no matter what it is. And we're planning on going to see him. So we changed our plans. We were going to go at a different time. We were talking about going in June because, Leah's birthday and then my niece's birthday, my great niece, her birthday's the day before mine. We just thought we'd make the tour, just go from South Carolina to Bristol to Virginia Beach. It makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. See everybody. And we're going in April now. I want to go before while I know I can.
Sooner. Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully they don't get snow because Virginia Beach has been getting some really crappy weather this year. So we're back to the weather. So,
well, if she doesn't find what she's looking for at Duke, we have when it started, it was one of 5 in the nation comprehensive cancer centers. And we have one here. So I'm sure that she'll find the help that she needs at Duke. But if she doesn't like it, if it doesn't feel right to her, then, there's options everywhere.
Well, since he's an adult, he has to make the decision, of course. But
they can communicate about that.
So I'm just hoping for the best. So that's all I can do. So
it is. I mean,
and everybody go hug all your family now that you can. I mean, I know that last week was Cancer Awareness Day. And, personally, my family doesn't usually get cancers, which is, I know that sounds odd, but there's nobody in my personal family that ever had cancer.
It is a genetics thing. Yeah. Excuse me. We've had cancer here and there throughout, but my grandma had squamous cell lung cancer, but she smoked all of her life.
Yeah.
My mom had breast cancer. I'm fairly meticulous. I mean, I get checked, but it's just there's so many things. And the only thing I've had was a squamous cell skin cancer. And that is because I'm a sun baby. And when I was younger, I was not a self-defensive some baby. I am now. But and my little golden, Heidi, the little mini golden, she is who, when my leg was broken, found it. And I couldn't do anything because I couldn't stand up. Yeah, I broke my knee and I was in a wheelchair for a while. But I couldn't like take myself to the doctor. And she was trying to bite that thing off of my arm. And I'm like, what are you doing? My dog has lost her mind. Well, it was cancerous, and Goldens find cancer. And just so if you're paranoid about cancer, get yourself a golden retriever. Just saying. They are good for a lot of things. Yeah. Mainly Levens, because they are good dogs.
No, they're great dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I asked, my cousin on my mom's side, I said, do we have any cancer in our family? And he goes, not that I know of. So I also asked the cousin on my dad's side of the family. I said, do we have any cancer on this side of the family? He goes, not that he knows of. And I was like, okay.
Good enough.
But
start any trends.
Well, I tease people all the time. In my family, we all die from stuff that can be avoided. If you
self-inflicted.
Yeah, self-inflicted, or somebody's inflicting it upon you. So so if you can get through all that, you should be great. But I know that personally, we've had a few people in the family that have had cancer, and it's some have been positive and they made it through. But just being aware that cancer exists and that it's affecting people every day, it changes your thought process on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all know in the back of our minds that this affects people every day, but until it's right in your vision, your line of sight, you just don't pay as much attention to it.
That's true.
It's the same with spirits.
It is.
You don't pay attention. Eventually, it's going to jump out at you and go, "Hi, I'm here."
I have been trying to talk to you. What is wrong with you? Yeah. But when I do see or hear them, that's usually why. Because they're here. In fact, after everybody left, it was just me and the dogs this afternoon. I heard footsteps twice. I thought David was home. And so I got up because I wanted to see what he thought, about the house or whatever. And there wasn't anybody here either time. And I'm like, been working on this house. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. But, don't freak out my dogs. And that's the only rule, really. Yeah. Don't freak out my husband. Don't freak out my dogs. So,
yeah. I wish somebody would freak out my cats and get them. Since we've got home, they've been, Keela is on my lap right now.
Of course.
Anytime I'm laying down right now, she is on me like stink on shit. And if Ron goes into the kitchen, they all follow him. Yes, we are from Canada.
Hey, Joanne.
Hey.
Hey.
We had to go back. We had to go back to our
boot.
We had to go back to the aboot. So while we were gone, what all happened on the networks that we need to know about? What's all the new stuff? Because I was surprised Kat had a show on Sunday. Carl, did you produce her show?
Yeah, I did I produced the show and watched that lousy football game.
And I'm going to tell you, I gave Jeremy York was my guest, and I was like, "Oh, it's Super Bowl Sunday," and I messaged him, and I was like, "I know that the sports show thing," and so I was like, "Do you want to reschedule this so you can watch the game?" And he was like, "I don't watch the Super Bowl." And I was like, "Good enough." Okay.
I don't blame him. I shouldn't have.
I wouldn't have watched that. I mean, I would have watched that one if I wasn't on the air.
So, Carl, did you cry?
What's a cry about? They didn't do anything.
No, I just went. Chiefs didn't show up. They beat themselves.
They did beat themselves.
Show up.
They did not show up.
They were not even in the house. I mean,
they weren't.
After the first quarter, I said they have no desire to even be there.
No.
It was obvious. I mean, they just could care less.
They listened to their own hype.
They probably did.
I mean, that they absolutely listened to their own hype. They thought they could call it in because, they were so strong. And anytime you do that in any walk of life, it can come back and bite you in the butt bigger than anything.
It will.
You're not,
Always.
nobody is 110% all the time. And if you're going to be playing, because I'm going to tell you, Carl and I talked about that, Jeremy too, about the pregame videos that they were putting out and all this other stuff. And now, I like the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts played for Alabama.
Yeah.
I knew who I was cheering for. I had on a red shirt too. I didn't plan that well, but it was
probably
it was
Hurts
crazy
jersey.
no,
Alabama.
no. I just had on a red turtleneck because it felt good. It was a little cool in here. It's real cool in here tonight. That's why I have on a real sweater. But it was, Carl's putting the scores up there, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it just kept getting away, and I'm like, they're not coming back from that.
I know. It was bad when I had to put up there 30-0, the Eagles. I was like, this is totally ridiculous.
Well,
I
it was
tell you,
ridiculous.
Kelsey needs to think about retiring because he had butterfingers.
There were 30
nobody did well.
There were
Nobody
30
well.
other teams in the NFL. They wouldn't have beat any of them.
No,
Sunday
not
night.
that night.
Nobody. Nobody.
That's
Not
the
that
worst they've ever played.
Yeah. That was worse than when they got their butts kicked by Tampa in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But one thing about
They
it,
couldn't even get a first down. They couldn't even get to
I won't take anything away from the Eagles. The Eagles played one hell of a football game.
Yeah, they played over their heads, but
I watched them play that one that was it the one that sent them, the one they played in that blizzard? Remember a couple of weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I watched them in that, and I'm like, oh wow, I can't believe they're winning.
the Rams, yeah.
Yeah, and
The Rams had them. They could have beat them.
They could have beaten them, but they didn't because they wanted it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference that was in the Sunday night game too, is that everything you saw from the Eagles, they were all like, I mean, they were serious. They were even the hype reels were different.
Focused,
serious. By God, we're doing this. I didn't see that out of the Chiefs.
No, they were lackadaisical from what I saw.
Yeah.
Well, and it wasn't one player on the Chiefs having a bad day.
No,
the entire team. The offense couldn't stop Philadelphia at all.
I think they were, you know what? I'm going to tell you a secret.
What's that?
If you don't want to know what in the hell's going on, go on a cruise the week before the Super Bowl and come back on Thursday.
Perfect timing.
We didn't have to put up with the whole 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Prior to the Super Bowl of all this stuff. We didn't hear anything about the Super Bowl until Friday on our way back home. In the car.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to hear any of it. And I'll tell you, it was probably the most pleasant thing to not have to hear anything about sports. There was not even a sports network on the TV on the ship.
They had TV on the ship?
Mm-hmm. No commercials.
That's the best kind.
They had about 15 channels.
I had a thing where it showed you where you were at out in the ocean.
Yeah, like on Frontier Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had
how
that.
to book your next one.
Yeah. That. And here's your shopping. So there was 3 channels for that kind of crap. And then there was some movie channel that we ended up watching some old movie we hadn't seen in a long time.
Something about Can't Stop the Rock.
Oh my God. We went to this horrible show. Okay. So it was called Can't Stop the Rock. We get in there.
We were told it was a band that was going to be playing, rock songs from the 70s, 80s, 90s,
And it ended up being people redoing songs from movies and dancing and stuff. And I can't believe that we sat through the whole thing.
We were stunned. We were too stunned to move. I can't
was
How fun!
horrible. It was
Did you
horrible.
dance in your seat too?
No.
It was everything I could do to sit there and go, why am I not getting up and leaving? But
Well,
and I'll tell you the reason why. It's because
first
the
night-
whole family was there, and I felt like I would have embarrassed them if I'd gotten up and left.
Yeah, the first night I was just walking around all the different levels. I thought, man, that's going to take a while to figure out where everything is. And it actually didn't.
Yeah.
I got down, I don't know, 5th or 6th level, and I heard a bunch of noise, and I thought, I looked up and said theater. So I go in there, there's a couple guys standing there. I said, what's going on here? And they said, oh, we got a funny comedian who's going to be on here. And I thought, I like comedians. So I sat down. They had a band come out. They played a couple songs, and then, you know, the lady that was in charge of all the stuff.
Cruise director.
She came out, and she was pretty funny and talked about different things. And then the comedian finally came out, and he was really good. They said, well, he goes, well, I'm going to be back on the finale on Wednesday night. So, you know, come back and see me.
He's from Atlanta.
So I told everybody, I said, this comedian's really good. Well, I'll have to go. Well, everybody goes, most everybody from our crew. And anyway, it starts off after we had the Can't Stop the Rock and I don't know, a couple of things like that. The band starts playing. I looked around, they're like, here we go. We got scammed again. I said, no, it gets better. That's it. He'll be out.
Did he come out?
It was
he did.
Yeah, it was the Enchantment of the Seas Orchestra. So
Okay.
I can tell you, I would not recommend them for your crappy wedding.
Or a bar mitzvah?
Hey, they
No,
had to be better than the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Oh, I wouldn't. I
We
didn't
didn't
watch
watch it.
that.
That
why
was ridiculous.
that guy sucks.
I was so
That's
glad
why
I was
you
on the
think-
air.
I know you were.
I don't listen to rap.
The
So
last good one was Bruno Mars. And I was shocked.
probably
because
Prince. Yeah.
Prince was one of the best ones.
Yeah.
And
Prince was
I'm-
great.
yeah, I don't know why they put on people that nobody knows. At least not most of the people who buy tickets to these games. No.
Right.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be
Nah.
rude or anything, but I didn't know who he was.
I didn't either. And then
No.
all of a sudden he
I just knew
started
he did rap. and
whatever
that's
he
all I
did,
needed.
and I couldn't understand a word he did.
Probably just as well.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
probably was. And everything.
So
But
Nah, I don't even pay attention to halftime shows. They haven't
and
had a
then
good
Kat was on a panel last Friday night
Yep.
he was.
on Things the Network with Jeremy and all them about aliens.
It was so much fun.
So what all did I didn't get to watch most of that show. So what all did everybody talk about?
Well, we talked about a lot of stuff, and it was my first time to meet Marianne and Philip. So it was interesting.
Where were they out of?
I don't know. I think Marianne was out of California. Jeremy
okay.
could tell us. He was in chat earlier.
I
And
think
Phil-
he went to bed. He
Oh.
was
Yeah,
wore
he
out
did.
today.
But Philip, if you'll give me a minute, I can tell you because we have been messaging and messaging and messaging lately because he's coming on with me. He is an astral photographer.
Oh, okay.
And to me, that was kind of cool. And he pulled some of his work up, and I'm going to get him to bring some to the show too.
Is this
but-
Philip Gibson?
Yes, thank you. Yes, And-
Pennsylvania. He's from
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'll say
and
that
he was
sounds
just
familiar.
the
Yeah.
nicest person,
Yep.
and he was just really. I can't hear you. Hang on.
What?
Okay,
What?
now I can hear you.
Oh, we weren't saying anything when you said we can't hear you.
Okay, because it looked like your mouth was moving. I can tell
My
you
mouth
why,
is
because I
always
was
moving.
looking for his profile.
My mouth is always moving.
There was a
Yeah, it
delay.
never
Yes.
stops.
But it was so much fun because Marianne is she's kind of a seer, right? And so not just psychic, but a little bit more I guess, and interacts with ETs and different species and stuff. And I've run into people like that at the different cons that I've been to. So it was really fun because we had different opinions, but they didn't clash. And it was just interesting for me. For me, it was interesting. I was learning stuff and I love doing that. And then, Jeremy was like, well, show us some of your pictures. And Philip brought them up and it's really good. Because, I like looking at space. I have a pretty decent telescope and I just like to go. I watch the sky anyway, even if I'm not using it. I just like being one with that. And so it's a lot of fun when I get to talk to other people that feel like that. And we were talking about Orion's belt and the nebulae that are on it, and he had pictures from that. And I mean, it was pretty okay. I was really having a ball. So, and I just like to talk to people that do things I don't do necessarily. I mean, I do ufology. I like going to the conferences. I've been researching it for years. I'm in a group on Facebook, and the guy was like, well, what did you expect from disclosure? It's like a lot better than we got. I mean, when you watch these conferences and because I talk to the people that are in these groups that are presenting at these conferences, and people should be standing up and saluting when they have these people and they're talking to them, and they don't even give them any mind, really. I mean, when Nancy Mace asked, do we have remains from these crashes? And he said, yeah. And she said, human remains? And he's like, no, they're not human remains. Who didn't jump up out of their seat and run out like in the movie where all of the reporters run into the telephone booths and they fall over, right? I mean, yes, we have remains. They're not human. That's big news.
Yeah.
And nobody even did anything with that. I mean, there was so little coverage of that. And so
it was intentional.
Of course.
It was, hey, we're going to put this out there, but we don't want a whole lot of people here for it.
We found out that, the media has been paid and controlled by our government, which I've known.
Well, we all knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially hearing how much money they were getting to spoon feed us bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I can't believe how many
why did they not call Politico the Politburo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hello. They out-Russia'd Russia. They out-Russia'd Russia. If we're going to be spoon-fed government crap, let's call it what it is. That's communism.
Right.
That is not socialism. That is government control, government takeover. Here, we're going to own you and we're going to feed you what we want you to know so that you don't rise up against us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And, it
was all control.
Yeah. And I have a real issue with that because while I'm not a big get in your face political person, I watch, I do things. I've loved politics my whole life. I was a political science major. But that's why you can recognize the signs, because you learn about other things that happened around the world and all of this crap. I don't care who you are. Incitement to riot is incitement to riot. And they're doing it on the doorsteps of all of these government buildings where everybody is out there having a fit. We're going to take this to the streets. We're going to fight in the streets. We're going to, get your butt over to the jail and just hold your hands out for them. Yeah, let them print you and put you in one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are inciting to riot.
Yeah.
And nobody's freaking doing anything about that.
No.
So
and what you're seeing now is a people's starting to be a people's government.
Well,
you look at today in the White House at the Oval Office.
Yeah, watch it.
Trump was talking. Elon Musk was in the White House in the Oval Office with his little 3 or 4-year-old son that was playing around the desk on the floor. The only thing I could sit there and think of the last time that probably happened was 1963.
Yeah.
And everything. But yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff's coming out, and the people need to know.
Well, but they're not listening. They're not. It is becoming a touch more mainstream because they have to report what's happening that's pissing all these people off, right?
Mhm.
But anybody who is discerning will say, well, why is this making people so mad? Why is this what we're hearing? Why don't we know why this is? I'm so sorry. If I wanted to go out and give somebody $70 million, $70 billion, whatever, however much you want to call for them, it's going to go down to the Sudan to dig wells. It's going to be, in Bolivia trying to help them set up a good government.
Yeah.
It's going to be in South America
Right.
trying to find somebody that's not corrupt to help bring some of those countries out of poverty.
Yeah.
There's so many people that need more than a freaking DEI play or, teaching someone how to dress trans or, people that
crap
do that
doesn't matter.
Something that's
but
material.
people that live that lifestyle are going to live that lifestyle.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't need you to tell them what to do. They know.
Yeah.
I mean, they know what they are. They feel that in their soul. And why don't we do something for people that can't do what they think that needs to happen? And and I'm sorry if we're giving that kind of money to developed countries. That's just bribes.
Yeah,
That's
it
just
is.
bribes because
I mean, like the thing that you shared today about Independence Day. Do you think we really spent this much money on toilet seats and hammers? That's true.
That's
It's
my very
money
favorite
laundering.
movie of all time.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's money laundering is
It is
what's
money
going
laundering.
on in our government. And, the people that are pissed that Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency is taking away money from illegal immigrants, illegal aliens who came here, and they're taking Social Security money from.
They can't money launder anymore.
No, they
Yep.
can't.
That's
Right.
why they're mad.
that is exactly why they're mad.
They're stealing
And-
from us and giving it to whoever they wanted.
Yeah, the
Right.
question
Well-
is how much of this stuff?
Oh, it's been going on for a long time.
How much of this stuff was?
It went on
Being paid for
steroids
years and years.
Obama took over. And
That's
it
right,
just-
Chris. Chris says the more they cry, the more you know Milan's doing the
Oh,
right
yeah.
thing.
I know.
And that's the
Exactly.
damn
Right,
truth
Crystal.
because a stuck pig is the one that screams. I mean, you just can't get better proof than their reaction.
Well, the biggest one now is that $59 million that they paid to the New York hotels out there for
FEMA.
housing the illegals.
Right out of FEMA.
From
And
FEMA.
then
yeah,
they-
we knew
they
about
paid
it.
it.
Then we found
from
out
FEMA.
that the hotels doubled their prices.
Yeah.
He said that today there in the Oval Office.
Yep. And they
everything.
paid it.
And that's neck and fuss because there are so many hotels in New York City.
Mhm.
And they're on Fifth Avenue or wherever in the Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Freaking, I could not on a bet stay there.
Right.
Not and stay married. I mean, I probably could once, but my daughter lived in New York. And when I would go up there, I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah.
And, because until she actually found a place that was safe. So,
Livable. Yeah.
but
I was going to say it was a nice hotel because they will trash.
it was a nice hotel.
Oh yeah,
That'll have to be
nobody will
completely-
want to stay in it after they get out.
Well, but they're going to have to completely redo it.
They will.
And by God, our money better not go for
We
that.
better not pay for it.
Nope,
It
Because-
was a historical hotel,
it was.
and now it's historically ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we better not freaking pay for that. There'll be riots in
have
the
to.
street.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about taking the fight to the street, those people that all they do is mouth have no idea.
Yeah, and some of these people made a buttload of money And that's all they cared about. They didn't care
That's
about
exactly what they cared about.
they cared about the money, not what was right.
Right.
Welcome
And
to
they
politics.
knew they were doing wrong.
Welcome to
Yeah.
politics.
Oh, yeah.
It's about
I
right
mean,
and wrong. Yeah.
There's absolutely no justification whatsoever for that border being open.
No.
For when they tried to close it, the day that those migrants shoved through that fence and took out the Homeland Security people,
Somebody should have died.
that should have been the end of that.
Yeah, it should have.
I mean, that should have been, we should have put a brick and concrete wall up at that point with no footrests. And, you know, I don't know what in the world, I don't know how the soapbox got under my feet.
It's okay.
But-
You're allowed to say it.
But I just don't understand how people can think that that is any kind of way to govern a country.
It's not.
There's nothing wrong with immigration. There's nothing. I mean,
No.
my
Legal.
family came from England and Scotland and Ireland, and some of us were already here.
Me too.
I had family that was already in
right way.
Arkansas before the
Most
Trail
of
of
his
Tears, and
families
others who
came
walked the
from
Trail of
different
Tears.
countries.
Yeah,
Years
I know lots
and
of
years,
people that
100
came
years
in the
ago.
right way.
What I mean, and
It's
that's
not
what
easy.
America's not easy, because you know what? What's that old speech from American president? You know, for the right to stand on the street corner and speak your truth at the top of your lungs, you have to be willing to listen to the one that you disagree with speaking at the top of theirs.
Right.
You know, and that's from both sides of the aisle. Nobody has more right to voice their opinion than anybody else.
Right.
And what really got me so frustrated is that people that aren't even educated, that don't know civics, that don't know history, are the ones that are screaming the loudest and then fight back the hardest when you try to have just a plain conversation.
I know.
I mean, study something besides, you know.
University of YouTube.
Well,
Yeah. I
the
mean,
thing is, the people that come in here legally do it the right way. It costs about $10,000. That's what they have to pay out. They have to also study. They have to know our history.
Right.
They know our history better than most Americans do.
well,
'Cause
May
they're not taught.
Hernan, who is doing our tour in Ireland,
Oh yeah, she
he
knows.
just became a naturalized citizen.
Right. And she
And
knows more about our history.
did it
than
the legal
most
he knows
way.
more than I
people
do.
Yeah.
Have you seen that naturalization test? It's a bear.
Yeah.
It is a freaking tough test.
Yeah.
We're
And-
lucky.
Yeah, it's not easy.
We
I
got
don't know that I could
here.
pass it anymore. I mean, I had a civics teacher that made us all take it.
How
that
many
was-
failed?
No, I didn't fail.
No, I said
but-
how many.
But there's
failed?
nobody in the last,
a lot.
especially the last 4 years. There's no one that's come into this country that wants to be a citizen. That's not their
Legally.
goal. It's to get
Right.
free crap.
Yeah. Well, it's the birthright citizenship. Because if they have a child who is an American citizen, they can stay with that child. I mean, that's the exception. So, yeah, that's why Trump is wanting to end that.
Right.
And it's going to take a constitutional amendment to end that. He can't just arbitrarily do that, because it is a
that goes
constitutional
back to
thing. And people are mad that, well, we can't just
Anchor
do that. Well,
1850s or something. It was
Yeah.
a reason that
Anchor babies.
yeah. But, you know, you can't just arbitrarily change the Constitution
right.
No.
by executive order. You can do a lot of things, as we found out with Mr. Biden and with other people too. But, and we're seeing with Trump, you can change a lot with an executive order, but you can't touch everything.
Right.
And
And
he's
that's the
going
way
to
it
have,
should be.
it is. That's why we're who we are. You know,
That's why
So-
everybody wants to be a constitutional republic as opposed to something else.
Right.
well, if we give up being a constitutional republic, we're lost.
Yes, we are.
That's why the founding fathers created the documents that they did and bounded us the way that they did. There's a reason that the rest of the world wants to come here. And people are always like, oh, well, you know, nasty Americans, blah, 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 ugly Americans. And it's like,
Mhm.
why are you talking my language? Why are you coming here? And if you mess with my country, I'll be the ugliest American you ever saw. And I am not as a rule. I have so many. I love traveling internationally. I love getting to talk to people who come here. That was one of my favorite things about being in college, were all the exchange students. And I got to learn about cultures I'd never even heard of. And that learning from each other is the way it's supposed to work. We're not supposed to have a caste system. We're not supposed to have, boy, I do have this box under my feet. Do you want me to stop?
Our cruise ship had, what was it made up of? 51 different countries that people that were working on the cruise ship. I mean, everyone was super nice.
Yeah.
Well, or they wouldn't be there.
Right.
But, that's just the beauty of this age, of that age. People that, I wish that I had traveled more when I was young, but I was busy surviving, right?
Yeah. We were busy raising kids and
Yeah.
doing the job thing. And
Yeah. And so
trying to make it.
Yeah. But, it's really, I'm not really any party. I know I'm not a Democrat, but I'm more of an independent, I think, for myself. And I want our constitutional founding documents to matter in our country. And I want our borders to be protected. And, some news agency was talking about the uprise in tuberculosis and the uprise in other things that we vaccinate for.
Yeah, measles and
polio. Mumps. Yeah, polio especially.
Yeah, all that.
But, that is because we got vaccinated as children, and we vaccinate our children. But when you have an influx of that many unvaccinated, unvetted people in this country, they're going to bring in the stuff that is thriving in their country. They're going to bring it with them. Typhoid is one of them. Tuberculosis is one of them. Polio is one of them.
We lived that life. We almost lost our child to whooping cough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leah wouldn't be here. Ron had contracted whooping cough from a guy that was from another country that he worked with. We don't know if the guy was here legally or not. We don't know.
So he was from
Mexico.
Yeah, because that's a whole different immune
system.
And
Ron got sick in April, and in July he was still sick, and I had the baby in June. And by the time Leah was a month old, we were in Children's Mercy Hospital for 11 days.
I didn't realize she was that young then.
Yeah.
She was only a month old at the time.
I didn't remember knowing that. I don't remember knowing
she
was that young.
Well, the thing is it only becomes important when people start saying, don't vaccinate or vaccinate. I have to say, on the don't vaccinate side, my grandkids are never sick.
Mm-hmm.
They've never not. One of them's been vaccinated. My daughters, Lindsay almost died from a high fever, got ear infections, all kinds of stuff. All my kids were fully vaccinated. Leah almost died, and before she could even get vaccinated.
Yeah.
For anything other than the birth stuff, the stuff that they get when they're first born.
Natural. Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't know what else to do. But, we didn't have the information we have now.
No.
Right.
If we had the information we had now, I would have picked and chose which vaccinations my kids got. I would not have, we had an infectious disease doctor for the kids. And she was very persuasive. She wanted me to get my kids chickenpox shots. And I said, 3 of them have already had the chickenpox. I said, if I get this one chickenpox shot, will it keep her from getting shingles when she's older? No.
No.
So why would you get?
Why bother?
Yeah. Why would
you duplicate?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
So
Well, that was just like with COVID.
Leah's
read
never
COVID.
had her chickenpox shot. So she's the only one of my kids that probably will not get shingles.
Yeah.
But if I had gotten her that shot, she would have been just like the other ones that got chickenpox on their own that now can get shingles.
Yeah.
So they don't tell you this. They tell you, oh, it could prevent this. Could. Not will.
Right. Good.
I got measles. I got the MMR shot when it was in the first 2 years. 2 years after it was created, and it was still in test phase. Guess what I got? I got measles twice.
Oh my gosh.
My mom, she goes, how in the hell did you get? Because one was rubella and the other was
the MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella.
I got both types of measles. I'm like, so guys, do your homework. You got to do what's best for your kids. And
you also have to do what's best for you too, because and we've talked about this and laughed about this, but it really wasn't funny. When I was going to Scotland the first time, I could go to Scotland, but I could not come home without a booster. I could not come home back to my own country unless I had my booster shot, my COVID booster. And David was like, I'll just come over the frickin' border. I don't care. I'll just
what booster was
it? The COVID, the second one. I mean, I got the shot because I had to get the shot, which I got the J&J, and because I wasn't getting the Moderna.
Just to go on the trip, you had to do that?
To come home from my trip.
No. You got the first one. You had to get.
I got the first one because I got the first one because I had to have it to go. But Scotland was fine with the first one, but I could not come home to America without the booster.
Yeah, just walk across the border, you've been fine.
Well, I told David I'd just fly down to Tijuana and come across.
Yeah, just walk across the border.
Yeah. No habla English.
Yeah.
Well, you still have your passport. So,
but I'm an American citizen. I could not enter the country without a booster.
That's just so. But yet they let all these illegal people come in without anything.
Without anything, without MMRs, without
nothing.
Anything.
I had heard that they had set up shot clinics right there on the border for people to get shots as they were coming across. I don't know if that's true or not.
I have not heard that at all.
Yeah, I heard. No,
I didn't see anything about that. I heard about it, but didn't see anything.
Yeah, I heard about it for COVID only, not everything else. But we got to.
They had to do something with all the extras.
Yeah. When everybody realized they weren't going to be using them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I had COVID, and I just recently had COVID again.
I know.
And it was a different COVID than the one I had. The last time was hard, but still the flu is so much worse. But I had tested negative like 2 days before. And when my steroids shot wore off, I was like, oh, I still feel really bad. I'm going to go back and maybe get oral steroids or something to clear all that out. And they tested me, and she came back in and she was like, because she thought I was going to have the RSV. And she's like, this is COVID. I'm going to give you some more steroids. I'm like, thank you so much. But it was tough. I can't remember, Carl, my voice was so bad.
Yep.
I was unable to speak. I had to have, Mark did my show one night.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that Sunday, I still couldn't talk. And did I do that? I think I did that next Wednesday, or did we do a
You
But
did
it
that show. It was rough.
I could not. I mean, I always have something to drink with me, and this is not bourbon. Darn the luck, it's Coke. But it's just like I had to have a drink, and I had cough drops. But that was when I had COVID. It wasn't that bad. And Gary, I have had shingles that were a bear, so I don't want them anymore.
He's had them several times.
That's what he said. Yeah,
I've had them 3 times myself.
Yeah, when you first get it, what's that stuff they
Oh,
give you?
they give me Tamiflu.
Tamiflu. That does help. It helps a
Really?
lot.
But
it knocks it down to where
they give you an antiviral.
It's tolerable, pretty easy.
Yeah, because that's what they gave me in Denver. I was on a business trip the first time I got shingles.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
I think you talked about it on a show.
Yeah, I was
Ew.
stuck in a hotel room working, and I
Doing
couldn't
your
leave
corporate
because
thing.
because I didn't have. I had a flight scheduled for not the next day, but the day after that. And that was when somebody gave me the book about haunted downtown Denver.
Yeah.
It's this thick.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought it to my hotel room. And it was when the Baltimore Ravens were going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And the only reason I remember all this was because the restaurant next door sent me over some beignets. So, because
I didn't know you could get beignets in Denver.
It's Cafe Nola. A different one, not the one here, like they have here in Pensacola, but it was they were from New Orleans, and every time I went to this restaurant every time I went, and so they knew me because I'd been seen there the day before, and when I called to order dinner, they go, "Well, why aren't you coming in?" I said, "I'm sick," and told them what was going on, and they sent me beignets with my dinner.
That was so sweet.
So they were really nice people. But, shingles sucks.
Yeah, mine were on my neck.
But I'll tell you, I've never known anybody to die from shingles, but I've known people that died from the shingle shot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the part that scares me about vaccinations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going from the fire into from the frying pan into the fire, and it's scary.
That's why it is scary. Healthy people just dropping dead.
Well, they're bringing them out real quick. There's hardly any testing.
No, there was no testing. There was no testing on those COVID vaccines
like we don't
at all.
know the side effects of the COVID shot.
Nothing.
Well, we still don't know all the side effects of having COVID. It's still new.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or those strains are that they built up on Wuhan.
Right.
Yeah.
And can anybody say hallelujah for those damn reports coming out about Fauci? Hello. Thank you, God, because somebody needed to know the damn truth.
Exactly.
I am really cussy about that. I'm sorry.
You know what? I got a feeling.
I can't stand it.
I have a feeling we're going to get a report that says something happened to him.
He needs a slow death.
He won't get it. They're going to shut him up because he will be.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that strong a character. I think he'll squeal. They won't let
everybody.
It'll be a one-car accident, but
yeah,
it needs to be a slow death.
I don't know what it's going to be, but they're not going to let him get on the stand anywhere.
Roll him in fire ants.
It's the same as the P. Diddy stuff that, that was hey, look here, pay attention to P. Diddy. Don't look at that Trump guy. Don't look at him. Pay attention to this Diddy guy. And we've heard nothing about him since the election.
Nope.
Hell, he'll probably be doing next year's halftime show. What are you talking about?
I really
gotta have a rapper.
I don't even know what he does.
He's a rapper.
He screws Kardashians. That's all I know. No, he isn't even that one. That was Kanye West. But apparently he screws something. Everything.
He'll get out and run for president and say there'll be a bottle of baby oil in everybody's house.
Oh, you are so bad. And Tom McNicholas, yes, you can still get the shingles if you get the shingle shot.
Yeah.
But
it sucks.
It's money. Money.
It is.
That's all it is.
Well, and it's more than money, though. It's control.
It's fear mongering.
Which is how they get control. I mean,
what Hitler did.
Hitler was very good at that. But who would have thought that they'd use him for a playbook?
Yep.
So
Denise and Ron, when's your next paranormal roundup?
Tomorrow.
Huh?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
At 7.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we changed it to Wednesday.
Yeah, we changed it to
Why would you do
Wednesdays.
that?
Huh?
Why would you? Because even if I'm
Because-
down there, I can't come.
Well, we kind of had to because the place we moved to is Mark left his shop, so
Mhm.
we had to kind of find a different spot.
We also had people complaining that it was too cold,
Well, it was
and it was.
was it?
extremely loud because they had a
They had trivia.
trivia night on Thursday, and it was microphone. It was loud.
Oh.
They said we'd have our own, we'd have a separate room, which we did, but the problem is it's connected right to the bar, and there's no door, so we could hear everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
they
where are
have
you gonna
nothing
move it?
going on Wednesdays. We're doing it at the Beardless Brew House in Milton on Elmira Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people,
And
Yeah,
it's haunted. It's haunted, by the way.
what
Cool.
I think a lot of the people they got to drink beer there, and they enjoyed that part too.
Oh, guess what else they
They
like?
brew their own.
What?
They like the toilets and they like the heat.
No, we don't have to worry about it.
I'm a big fan of both.
Yeah.
So,
Because
Yeah.
the minute that there's not a toilet, guess what? Everybody has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
have to worry.
and
about
I am not really adept with nature being my bathroom.
Well, there was a toilet there at the flea market, but it was questionable.
Yeah, I've used that toilet.
It
at the
wasn't
flea market.
open.
Yes. Well,
most of the time.
yeah, and most of the time it wasn't even
Yeah,
open.
Mark didn't even know if it
So
was open or not.
he said
Yeah.
if you're going to use one, use the ladies' room. It's better than the men's. And it's like, it's always the case.
Yeah,
but,
it is.
But yeah, at least this way people, and the bar also makes their own root beer. Not only do they make beer, but they make their own root beer. So,
Tom's going to Jamaica.
oh,
Wow.
both my brothers are heading.
Florida.
Florida. Ah,
The one
So
will be heading to
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Well, if you're in Jamaica, use caution and
Well,
Oh
discernment.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and there's a lot of beggars.
Yep.
So hide your wallet. Put it in your front pocket where you can feel it all the time.
So how's that been turning out at your roundup?
Pretty good. We did the
We're not really having anything tomorrow. Really, I mean,
tomorrow's just
yeah, it's
meet
just
and greet
me.
and
Open mic night.
Yeah.
I guess.
yeah, pretty much. But this last one we did the Akashic Records meditation.
How did that
And
go?
It went pretty good for a few people, and for others,
I
not
made
so
it
much.
about 30 seconds. Then I couldn't focus on nothing.
It was loud.
Oh, that would,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. I
So
thought
we're
that-
going to do it again some other time when it's quiet. But the good thing about this, I mean, it's only one Wednesday a month, so it's not horrible. So we don't miss all your shows with only one. But we also have access to their outside area when it gets warm.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, and it's right off the Blackwater
we
River,
can do that tomorrow.
possibly.
It's not raining,
It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
is it?
So, but yeah, it gives them a little bit more feeling like they're in some place, and the community is now embracing what we're doing. We got interviewed by the newspaper. They're not going to use it yet. They're talking about possibly catching up with us in a couple months. But yeah, they decided not to use the information. But we met a lady at the newspaper, which
Exactly.
is nice, and she's friends with the minister that bought the Imaging Theater. The Liberty Church bought
Mhm.
the Imaging Theater, and it's now a church. But she's friends with the youth minister there, so maybe we can get into there. We met one of the ladies has a haunted shop on Willing Street, which is our main historic street
Mhm.
is Willing, and they tell us that the bar is haunted as well. So that makes it kind of interesting that we can at least possibly come up with a paranormal investigation one night.
Yeah. You could do an
And,
after hours thing.
And then I
Mhm.
also figured we could do maybe a stroll, get the historical society to come out and visit with us and maybe give us a historical
down the
stroll
street.
of town.
That would be nice if you could do like a monthly thing in the summer.
Right. And I think it would help them too to know more
Sure.
about the people that are coming to town for paranormal tourism.
Mhm.
Because, Milton is one of the oldest towns in our area. It was here, as soon as there were people here, we had all the mills.
Yeah.
You know, people had to come here to get their trees milled, their buckets, all this other stuff. I mean, that's why it was called Mill Town at one time. So there was probably 15 mills that I did. So hey there, long time no see. So I forget. And but yeah, it'll be nice getting to see everybody again. We've got a lot of people that come every single time, and even our neighbors.
What's their age groups between?
16 to 70.
Really?
Oh, that's fun. That is fun.
That's okay.
I thought it was him, but
yeah,
I didn't want to sound like an idiot. I don't know is better than sounding like an idiot.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You're getting a lot of the young people in there interested in it.
I think that is too.
We've got some really interesting stories from people too.
Yeah.
One that has prophetic dreams. We have another one that
from everyone that showed up.
Oh yeah, everybody shares such interesting stories. You know, this one lady that comes out all the time, she's always telling us places that are haunted in the area, stuff that she sees. You know, she's talked about some cryptozoology type stuff in our area, which I did not realize how much there was here in this part, because you know most people think more east going towards Tallahassee. In fact, past Tallahassee. They don't think of it in this area, but you know, with all the swamps and stuff that we have, who knows what's in there?
Well, I know that if you go up 65 to Evergreen,
right,
that is the Bigfoot capital of Alabama. There's so much there, and that's not that far, because if you go into actual Evergreen, then the little town, you just shoot down 31.
Yeah, that's how we get here.
Yeah, and it's really. There's a lot there.
Evergreen is
pretty thick woods.
Yeah. So we, because I saw you were just there because you had posted about that.
Yeah.
Is Evergreen more? It's more to the west of the highway as opposed to the east.
It's to the east.
It's to the east.
Yeah.
Because when we go off, we go east and then go south.
Yeah.
Because they've done some construction.
Because I will.
You guys will like next week's show here with Josh Edilla.
Yeah.
From Florida. He likes investigating Bigfoot, the skunk ape, all that stuff down there.
Well, there's all of that there. So Scott Martis, who used to be the champ researcher, he lived in Florida before he passed away, and would still go up to do his champ studies. But he was very into the skunk ape and everything that was in his area. There's a lot there. There's stuff that people don't even have names for there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of reports on the road from Destin coming up that I think it's the toll road.
It may be toll now.
Yeah,
but
I think it's that one.
Yeah,
that's what they talk about, seeing stuff on that road, and we don't usually take the toll road. Okay.
Not that one.
No, because we go around and come out on 30A on the, in Santa Rosa Beach. Well, we take the highway part, and so we don't go down that way. We just, we do the, Defuniak Springs to 30A.
Yeah, well, I used to go from Destin through Defuniak Springs, and then we wound up having, it was like a 1-car ferry because the bridge was out.
Oh yeah,
so pre-Opal. But that road was freaky. That road, because I was going to Atlanta at the time instead of Birmingham, but there was some stuff there that was, I would never have wanted to break down there
at night,
ever.
Because during the day, of course they've redone the roads. It's now 4-lane high.
Sure.
4, or is it 6 lane? And part of it's 6 lanes now, coming from the Defuniak Springs all the way down.
Yeah.
So, it's major tourism down there now.
Well, yeah. Like I said, pre-Opal. Hurricane money changes places. That's why I was so worried about Gulf Shores. But so far, they've managed to not lose all of their minds.
Well, I think, what's weird is when we went to Destin, it wasn't long after you lived there, based on your description. Because we went, it was before Hurricane Ivan is when we went.
Well, Opal, I lived there.
You're talking about your
It's
son's
about
age.
About
First one was
87,
there.
88,
Okay.
and then moved back to Atlanta. And it was, I loved it, but it was hard to do with Aaron and man who showed up and disappeared all the time. So I needed to be closer to people that I had a support unit with. So
I understand.
and
So-
that's the way that goes.
Yeah. So we were there about 20 years later then.
Yeah.
But the kids really, that was their first feeling of white sand beach and
Yeah, that's when we went to New Orleans and then Destin.
yeah.
And then Katrina hit 5 weeks later.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Boy, talk about timing.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Katrina was a bad old girl.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've done the Biloxi thing, went to Biloxi and saw all the damage there.
Yeah.
We haven't been back to New Orleans since.
Mm.
We're planning on going.
Don't go for a little while.
Oh, I know. I told him, I said, I don't want to go until after after Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Well, and you didn't want to go before the election either.
No.
It's just been crazy. But they're really making an effort, I think, because because they thought everything was hunky-dory and didn't really want to put a lot of work into the security and people got killed and run over, they were freaking out. And nobody with the city was saying anything that made any sense. So it's been kind of lawless there for a while.
Yeah, the city itself is kind of run like crap.
It is.
And has been for a while. It's been controlled by Democrats. So
Well,
You wanted-
it had been, but I mean, even New Orleans is weird.
It is.
well,
You can be like, if you're in the French Quarter, as a rule, pay attention, but there's usually so many people there
Yeah.
that if you're not going down dark alleys and stuff, you're going to be okay.
Right.
But they had gotten to where they were like the murder capital of the South all of a sudden.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of that was migrant. And, people that came here and didn't have means to make money. If you don't have a way to make money, you go and take money.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's why you have to be vetting. So
Yeah.
people need
Well-
skills. So and New Orleans is not really a construction city, which is why there's such a strong migrant community in Atlanta that has good support. There's
Yeah, it's
jobs for them
construction
there.
season all year.
Yeah, but I mean, there's
Just
work
here.
to be done.
Yeah, there's work there.
And yeah, I love New Orleans too, Julie. And I don't go there right now, but I love to go. If you go back, check out Bloody Mary's tours
Oh yeah, we would.
and the Murder Museum, the North Rampart Street Murder Museum.
Yeah,
So
the
that's
kids.
cool.
Lindsay went to the other place that Mary owns, where the murder suicide
Mm,
happened.
yeah.
They went there. But yeah, one of the things when we were in New Orleans the second time, I was the disaster relief person for Sprint back then.
Yeah.
And so what was strange is that they were working on their disaster relief program and they had hurricane glasses and walking around just drunk.
That's what
the
they did.
whole time for their disaster
disaster preparedness. That's what they did. They
That was their-
partied the whole time. And then when Katrina hit and that turned into a disaster, I went,
Yeah.
wow, what a shocker.
Right.
People,
And
yeah. People running the city don't have a clue
No.
well,
because they were partying. We were there when they were at the same hotel we were at.
after Katrina, I worked for a company that was, our job was to get refrigeration systems back up because we did the refrigeration systems for Walmart's. And so, it was just insane, absolutely insane when I had to get a permit pulled and the guy was leaving. The only guy that could do my inspection was leaving for a fishing trip. And I'm like, if I can get a guy there in the next 10 minutes to meet you, will you please do my inspection? And he was like, my boat is on the truck. The trailer stitched on the truck. And I'm like, I really need that inspection. Walmart is on my butt. Can you please go ahead and do my inspection? He's like, I can sign the form. I said, all right, I appreciate you doing my inspection. And, thank you. So
people don't realize law,
Walmart
business law in Louisiana is so totally different, especially when you're incorporated in Louisiana. And people don't understand that. I did because the company I worked for was incorporated out of Louisiana.
It's Napoleonic law there. Mm-hmm. It is not U.S. law. It's not anything like any place else in America. It's the Napoleonic Code there.
It's the good old boy network.
Well, that too, but that's part of the Napoleon thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, seriously, I had to have that done. I was just like, please, I can have a guy there in 10 minutes. And he was like, my boat's on the truck, man.
Well, at least it got done.
It did get done.
And we're doing Mardi Gras. Tom said something about Mardi Gras. We're doing Milton's Mardi Gras is this Saturday.
Yeah.
We have, here.
Is it through your historic district or where are they?
Yes.
Where are they parading?
So it's going to go down Stewart Street, then Berry Hill.
Dogwood?
No. Stewart to Berry Hill to Willing Street, and it'll end in the market area of the Black River Market downtown.
Yeah.
Right by the Beardless Brew House is where it'll end.
I think that sounds so fun. I do miss Mardi Gras.
Yeah. We can hit a Mardi Gras every weekend.
Yeah. You could probably hit one every night right now.
Well, yeah, in New Orleans, but here we can hit one.
Well, no, I mean, if you beach hop, because Lulu's does one. Lulu's has a ball. And then they do, and Gulf Shores does boat parade. And then you can get down there and,
Pensacola and the bar.
Yeah,
Milton
Pensacola has one, and then Pensacola Beach has one. And so, but yeah, I don't want to do that with the kids that many because then it won't be fun anymore.
Well, that's true.
And I already got, we've got over 100 pounds of beads.
At least we gave away about 30 on Halloween.
Yeah.
And the kids loved it.
You can never have too many gras beads.
Oh, they loved it.
Well, we ran out of candy.
We were low on candy. It was like, got plenty of beads.
A piece of the bead.
I'm coming back for more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So but I did find out that you can turn your Mardi Gras beads in to any one of the groups that do Mardi Gras, and you can give them to them and they'll recycle them.
Yeah. That's good to know because I still have beads here. So,
well, if you're ever at home for Halloween, just put them in a bowl and give them to the kids. It'll solve the problem.
I'm not giving away my beads.
No,
I have some really nice ones that people made for me and stuff. So
I have some very nice ones too, but
those are in my downstairs office.
Nah, we didn't give away the good ones.
Yeah, the cheap ones. The ones that they get 100 for $5.
Yeah, I went through.
I have to tell you, Amelia, I went over there the other day. Amelia's my granddaughter. She's 3. She's a pistol. I know where does that come from, but it's so funny because she has a set of pink ones, and so she was like, "Oh, Beba, where are my beads?" I'm like, "Okay," and then I was getting ready to go. She said, "I need them back." And I'm like, "You're taking my beads?" She said, "I'm taking my beads."
Like, that would be Clover.
She is, yes, very much.
Yes, I got it. Much. Yeah, that was Ruby's favorite part of going to the parade was getting the beads and the candy. And Nolan we just basically we just tie him into the stroller and take him.
Toss
Because-
out little footballs, little Nerf footballs,
Oh my gosh, I've never gotten a football at one.
all kinds of stuff.
Light up cat toys.
Oh yeah,
No.
cat
Ghost,
balls,
they send me ghost hunting equipment.
all kinds of food, candy.
Let's see. The other thing, they gave
Koozies.
they gave Piper an air horn.
Oh
Air
no.
Oh yeah.
You know, I took that from
Who
her and I
hated you
gave
that
her-
much?
No, they gave it to her, and I was like, okay. So I gave it to her dad, and I said, "Here, you hide this.
Yes.
You don't need an air horn unless you're outside in the yard and a bear."
Yeah, we
shows
got
up."
that thing looked at and we both did a double take. It's like, are you serious?
That's
Yeah.
a mean thing.
Yeah.
to
An
do.
air horn? Or, no.
I hit it.
I would have.
I just hand her a pistol.
Yeah.
Loaded.
Yeah, I was just concerned that the kids were
So
going to end up deaf. But other stuff that we've had thrown at us, hula hoops. You know, my favorite is moon pies.
Let it go over your head and start.
Moon pies.
Yeah.
It is. I'm
right.
serious. Moon pies and king, those little king cake. They're not
King
king
cakes.
cakes, but they're little. I forget what they're called, but there's something made in New Orleans, and,
Yep.
they'll throw those out.
Yep.
And they're marshmallow. They're kind of like moon pies, but moon pies is the biggest thing.
Throw
that
out
they
so
sell.
much crap, you're going to get hit. I mean, you're paying attention. You're going to get hit 2 or 3 times in the head
Yeah.
by something.
Oh yeah, and then they
I
throw
mean,
out
it's
these beads
just
that
so
are this
much
big.
crap.
You know, they throw out the beads that are this big, and they hit you, and you go, "Oh my god, I got a concussion."
But I got a nice set of beads.
We even had Nolan in the stroller, and we were kind of protecting him. I mean, he could see pretty much just straight. Next thing you know, bam. Yeah. Damn, they hit him.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
How'd they do it?
We've now got we're now using our stroller that has the awning on it so
They
that we
still
can
hit
cover
'em.
him up. But yeah,
That's
they'll
so
walk up to
bad,
Nolan.
but so funny.
They'll walk up to Nolan in the stroller and they'll just put the beads on
They
his
can't
neck.
need a helmet and the face.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got Mardi Gras
Goggles.
this weekend.
He needs
Oh,
little
man.
goggles to keep from
Football
getting hit in the
helmet.
eye.
So that's what we got. You know what? We're at
Dangerous.
6:40.
Yeah.
So Carl, do you have a show after this?
Nope.
That's right. Your show's now on Fridays.
Yeah. Friday night, Life Unfiltered.
So yeah, yeah, it's pouring down rain again.
I
So
don't even know.
Kat, when are your shows on? Tell everybody.
Yeah. What you got on your shows this week?
I got no idea.
See,
I
this
don't
is
have
where
my
I get
camera.
it, Carl. You think I'm unprepared?
You're not unprepared.
Yeah, I know.
But I actually had Teal Gray on for this Sunday, and she has called and said that she was sick. And so, pretty sick. So she's having to heal with that. And I've got, I don't have a guest for Wednesday night, so I'm probably calling you. But
Oh, who?
Tomorrow?
I already told you we're busy tomorrow.
They got the
busy.
roundup.
that's right. But I already told
Yeah.
Carl that
And
I was
don't
probably
call
going to
Mark
need him
either.
one day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark.
No
But
more.
Look
I
up.
have had 3 guests in the last month who all of a sudden, well, Teal's sick, but
Yeah.
they just couldn't come. And one of the others was sick too. And I'm just
Yeah,
kind of
we're
like,
two.
huh?
Yeah, we've had some sick ones too.
Yep.
I think, well, I had COVID, so maybe COVID's going around again. Yeah.
There's a norovirus that's going around.
I've been hearing that too.
Leah's got it. A bunch of people that got off the ship that was in dock when we got in, not our ship, but a different ship.
Yeah, before.
They had 90 cases of norovirus on that ship.
That's how
Ooh.
people started getting COVID so bad too. We're from cruise ships, which is why they didn't cruise for so long. But I am really excited though, because I do have Philip Gibson coming on with me next week.
I like Phil.
I
He's
have
a good guy.
I really enjoyed getting to talk with him during the show, and I was just like, you've got to come on with me.
Yeah, we had him on about 2 months ago
Yeah.
before the election
Yeah.
Right.
because he ran for election in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
At one
He
time.
did.
I could see that.
Mhm.
He's very bright.
Very
And he's
conservative.
very nice. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I'm really excited because I have a woman named Nancy Timms who is coming on with me on Fate the following week after Carl. So I'm really excited about that. And I've got more booked for Fate right now than I do for Paranormal Experienced because I just do.
People's time. I know that's how it is. I can get more people sometimes booked for this show than my show because of Monday night. But now that football's over, I shouldn't have a problem.
Right. Well, I've got a gentleman named Quincy Roser coming on, and I've just met him, so I'm going to be loving learning about him. And then I've got my friend Costa coming on the next Fate show, and he is ET radio and very big in that community. So I have Costa Macraeus is really going to be a big show, but I also am excited because I have Stephen Bassett coming on with me, and he is also a big deal in the UFO community. He is one of the people that I enjoy learning from. So I think that people will enjoy seeing him too. He's a tough get, so I'm really excited to be having that. But mainly I just, because Paranormal Experienced, I lean toward everything.
Right.
And Fate is so versatile also that my guests can kind of come either way, and it makes it fun. And but Nancy Timms, I've just found out about, and she is going to be a big deal too. So I'm learning and doing some research, getting ready for that, because while I'm pretty good on UFOs and different aspects of ufology, when I talk to somebody that knows so much more than I do, I am so busy doing homework because I know I'm going to learn while I'm there, but I don't want to look like a goober either.
Yeah.
So,
the last thing you want to do is be taking notes while you're.
I do that though.
I do too sometimes.
I mean, I always have a notebook if I'm doing, especially somebody like that, because I can go back and listen. Yep.
I have 3.
I have.
Actually, I have 5.
I have every year calendar since I started doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
And because I use the books, like this is a big one. I use this one for my desk right now.
Yeah.
So that one's pretty interesting. But for my runarounds, I have this because I can book while I'm at an event and stuff and kind of keep up with that. But, and I don't even know how many notebooks I have. But when I was doing all the first 2 Contact in the Deserts I covered, I mean, I went through probably 3 notebooks, 3 of the, the 120 sheet ones, because, I didn't know the stuff that well yet.
Yeah.
And when they let me come to that first Alien Con as media, I couldn't believe that I got credentialed for that, and that was just Paranormal Experienced. And so I did the first 2 of those, and that was so cool because I knew a lot, but I knew I didn't know enough.
Right.
So
that's the whole thing is, if you ever know everything, it gets boring. It's boring then.
It is. And very rarely do we ever know everything, but sometimes we think we do. And then I realized that I didn't know nearly what I thought I did when I start getting into a conversation with somebody that knows that topic, But the ufology, I mean, I've seen them. I started I know there were things before, but 7th grade, the summer of 7th grade going into it, I saw a UFO. And my dad and all his friends that were jumping out of perfectly good airplanes and helicopters were like, no, that's a helicopter. I said, it's not making any noise. That's not a helicopter. And they were like, oh, well, here, have another hot dog because we were cooking out and whatever. But that night there were lights in my bedroom window in the driveway part. and they were green and white. And there wasn't anything with green and white that would have been down there because we lived in a cul-de-sac. And I told my dad, and I pulled the covers out. I was like, oh, I'm not here. Something like that would help.
Well, okay. So your shows are on Sunday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, right?
Right. Right here.
So you guys make sure you check those out. Check out my show on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central as well, The Paranormal Pride. And on Tuesday nights, it's me, Ron, and Carl with whoever the fresh meat of the day is.
Right.
At 5 p.m. Central on Paranormal Nation Radio. And Carl, where can they find everything we're talking about?
They can find us on the Temple Phoenix Rising Entertainment's Facebook page, Things Network Facebook page, which all four of us here are part of Things Network.
Yes.
Over there. And you can find Kat's shows, both shows, Denise's show, this show on the Dark Realm TV app on Roku and the Fire Stick. So make sure you go check it out. $4.99 a month. There's a lot of podcasts over there.
Good podcasts.
A lot of movies. Good information over there.
Yes.
You're going to have fun. There's a lot for everybody. So you can find us all the time here on the Billerites Network.
Yes.
And on my YouTube as well.
Yep.
So.
And mine go to how many YouTubes?
You got all kinds.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
So that
just search for the show name and you'll find us.
That's
Are we
right.
still on Rumble, Carl?
Yeah, we are, and I forgot to put it on here tonight.
Okay. Well, guys, check us out on Rumble. Can you put it on Rumble after the fact?
Yeah, I'll put it on Rumble. It'll be up there tomorrow.
So everybody, please stay safe in the winter storms and the thunderstorms that are starting to happen and stuff. So just take it easy during these stormy times and keep the people you love in your prayers. And we'll see you next week.
Everybody have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.